Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. So I've been helping a mobile pet grooming business that's in upstate New York rank better for their target keyword, which is mobile pet grooming. In this video, I want to share a bit of the behind the scenes of what I do when I'm looking at the map and ways I can flip it to get them more impressions, website clicks, phone calls, and leads for their business. I'm in the trend report within local Falcon. The primary keyword that I'm tracking here is mobile pet grooming. And the metric that matters most is share of local voice. That's a 63% of the time out of a possible 81 dots that were on page one of Google. This is really critical because if someone's on their phone searching for mobile pet grooming, Google only displays the top three listings on page one. That gets the most impressions, website clicks, phone calls, and interactions too. So every time I run a scan over here, I can see the top sites that are ranking, and everyone's trended out within local Falcon. The account that I'm working on here is the blue line. So you can see we went from a 44% to a 30% to a 74% to a 53%. And now today we're at a 63%. So the share of local voice is definitely growing. So it's going to lead to, again, more impressions, more website clicks, phone calls, everything like that. This is what I recommend first. This is kind of a hard view to see. So I actually like to uncheck some of the listens over here and go back to the top of the report. And I like to go to the bar graph if it's just for one account that I want to look at, because when I share this with clients or share this even from like an SEO coaching perspective, this view here is really easy to understand that, hey, we're making changes and they're actually stabilizing or they're improving. Not every scan you're going to do is going to be a linear growth. So you're looking for trends. So trends for me is we started at 44%. We went down to 30%. So let's just split the difference. Say it was 37% now on average. Then take the next three averages over here, 74%, 53%, and 62%. I'm just going to guess and say it's around 60%. So we went from roughly 37% now to 60% for our share of local voice. Again, obviously you guys can do the exact math for that, but that's kind of how I quickly summarize that if the strategy is working or not. And I know it is because we're definitely growing over here. So here's a couple of things that I do. Maybe this will give you some tips for what you can do for your business. So to start, the AI suggestion within local Falcon is helpful. I've been doing this now for many years, so I don't spend a lot of time here. But for new clients that I onboard, I will spend time looking at the AI suggestion to get some ideas. Ideas are things like, hey, we haven't posted in a while, you haven't gotten any reviews. Here's some secondary terms you might want to expand to. Here's some spammy listings that might be pushing down your listing. There's so much that you can take from this, so I highly recommend, if you're new to local SEO, read this report. Now, what I also like to do here is click on the Play Map slideshow. So I send this over to some of my clients because it's really difficult to explain how the map is changing, but Local Falcon does a great job where they actually will snapshot every time you run the heat map scan, and then they can play it as a timeline. So you can see how the map is progressing, getting greener, resulting in more impressions, everything like that. Next, let's look at the competitor report. So I spent a lot of time looking at this. These are now I can click on any listing over here and I know exactly how everyone is ranking within this 8-mile radius that we're all tracking. I can see all the number of businesses that are going after this particular keyword. This is so helpful, especially for clients with, or especially for industries with a ton of competition like locksmiths and HVACs and plumbing, where there's so many businesses out there. This gives you an idea of who you're really competing up against. But what I really like to do is, let me get rid of this over here. Click into, for example, let's say you really want to rank where this number 6 is. Click into this, and then what you want to do is click on View Screenshot. So what I like about this view is that this is an example of how, if I was, it's in this part of Glens Falls, if I was searching for mobile pet grooming, what I might find. So you got Petco ranking at the top, Classy Clip, and you got Fluffy Friends. Those are the top three. Again, that's the share of local voice. But what you also want to do is go through the rest of the listings here. I made a video about this before. I think Honeybee Grooming is doing a great job. And the reason why is because they have the book online button right there within the search results. So I share this because for every client that I work with, I'm always looking at, hey, we can improve the rankings for a term like mobile pet grooming. We can get more impressions, but ultimately all you care about is getting more phone calls and getting more leads for your business. I would take a guess and say that people who go to the map search, who are either looking for a physical place to have, to give their dog a bath or nail trimming or a spa day or anything else like that, whether it's in person or maybe they'll travel out to them. This book online button, I think, is so key. It stands out from all the other competition here too. Plus, I'm recording this video on my phone. Actually, I have another one too. Dirty Dog has a book appointment. If I'm on my, and also Dog Bods as well. If I'm on my computer and I don't want to, let's say, necessarily call because maybe I'm in the middle of like my actual job and I can't just like make a phone call, if I can book the session for like a weekend or for particular drop off, maybe after work, I think that actually gets the most interactions right there. So even though they're not ranking as well in some areas, I think having that really is a is it improves conversion rate. It makes the usability even better, and then I think over time Google will actually maybe even rank that a little bit higher because they see more people are clicking on that listing, even though it's a little bit further down. So I really like that part within Local Falcon. But what I take over here is that, and let's just click onto a couple listings down here. Let's look at Honeybee Grooming. The way that I look at this for any accounts that I work on, I'll zoom in a little bit, is that I look at each of the dots over here and then I look at the nearby towns. So West Glens Falls, South Glens Falls, Hudson Falls, Fort Edward, Fortsville, etc. If you say, hey, I only service an 8 mile radius or so, it's super easy to say, hey, I just do Glens Falls and Saratoga Springs, that's it. But in reality, there's so many neighborhoods that are in between both those major areas that you can list off because those are where people live, that's where people work. You want to make it very specific to Google that you do service these areas, so you can play around with those 20 listings over there. I always recommend to add them, run the scans within Local Falcon, and see if by adding that, did that improve your rankings or not. Of course, you can also add this to your question and answers or your description or your updates, and you can get reviews from those areas as well. But really, just some easy ways to get some better rankings. So, in summary, I'll go back over here. This is kind of what I'm looking at. We're looking at better rankings. I'll zoom out again. We're looking at stable rankings. We're looking at growth for the keyword mobile pet grooming. Um, what are my next steps with this? Well, I'm waiting for Google Business Profile to finish the month of August so I can see the search queries that are triggering the account. But really, my next steps are look at the secondary terms that are ranking and then start to add those terms then to Local Falcon, then do the same gap analysis, maybe make changes to the website. But also just look for, like that book online button as well to get more customers, better experience, more dwell time. And of course, we haven't even gotten to AI summaries as well, but this is a great starting point. Really happy to see the progress that's taking place. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. Maybe it sparked some ideas of what you guys can do. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And as always, have a good rest of your day.